Hey guys, what's going on? Today in the world of stocks, we're going to be talking about cruise ship stocks. Is it time to buy them? And should you be hoarding cruise ship stocks right now? So you may be on the sideline wondering to yourself, should I buy cruise ship stocks right now or should I wait? Right? Now, this is a really big battle for a lot of investors right now on what to do when it comes on to cruise ship stocks. I mean, they are at record lows, which makes them look like a steal at this moment. You can get 100 shares for what you would normally have to pay for just 20. Now, that's what we'll be talking about today. Now, first of all, let me say thank you guys for subscribing and tuning into the channel. All my returning viewers, I really appreciate the likes, seeing your comments on my videos, and your take on the topics we discuss. It's always very good to hear what you guys are thinking about what I talk about on this channel, and also any news or topics that are floating around and out there in the financial world. Now, if you're new here, my name is Ian, and on this channel, we talk a lot about the stocks, the investments, the accounts, ways to make money, and of course, personal finance. So with that said, do consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you can see new content, which is several times a week. And don't forget to like this video so it can reach more people. All right, so let's talk about these cruise ship stocks. What can you really do now? Just about a month ago, or even earlier probably, about 2 weeks ago, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was close to 30,000, peaking in the 29s. And so quickly, in such a short space of time, it's down to under 20,000. And up it goes again, and then down it goes. Such a rocky, slippery slope. Now, if you take a look at the cruise ship stocks, like even Royal Caribbean, a month ago, it was up at about $115, and now it's almost at $20. If we take a look at Norwegian, they were at about $40 to $50, and now they are below $10. And if we look at Carnival Cruise Lines also, a month ago, they were up at around the same, but now they're down to under $20. So is now the time to buy? I mean, buy low, sell high. That's the popular investment saying, but is that what we really need to be doing here? Well, first of all, if you speak to the average financial advisor, they'll tell you that when a stock price is down from average and you really want that stock, you should only buy a little. And then if the price drops more, then just buy a little more. And if the price drops even lower, then keep on purchasing a little more and a little more. And in the end, you'll end up averaging your purchasing price at a price point which is lower than what the stock would be worth when it bounces back to a normal price point. So with this strategy, for the long haul, you'll come out being a winner. Now, that's also the way I approach this and investing on a whole for the most part. Now, here's what I really think. And of course, weighing on this, guys, leave your comments so I can know what you're thinking. And also remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just an investor like you all are. So I really think that if you purchase these stocks with the intention of making a quick buck after the stock price goes up, or with the hopes of the stock prices bouncing back in about two to 3 months, I would advise against it. Now, if you have at least 2 years clear ahead of you that you know you can buy and hold these stocks for, and not even be worried about what happens in terms of the stock price within that time, and then you're not looking for a return until 2+ years at the minimum, then I would say definitely grab some of these discounted stocks. I mean, it may really take 3 to 4 months before these stocks start rebounding from their lows, and even then we can't say for sure that they'll be back to where they were before. It could be that these stocks are still off by negative 10% or positive 10% and climbing. Now, these are all 3 publicly traded companies, right? And so you're going to have experts. I mean, stock analysts would be monitoring and calculating the prospects for these stocks. And one of the main things that's happening is even the experts are waiting this out. Now, they need at least to see a restart of the cruise lines before they can start to have any concrete predictions on how the stocks are going to perform. Now, remember, these cruise lines are no longer operating. They're closed down for about 1 to 2 months from now. And so that's a lot of time. And with the loss of revenue and expenses that they will still have, it's very likely and possible that the stock prices could potentially plunge even further, especially if this entire virus situation gets worse and isn't contained in the coming weeks. Now, we also have to remember that the majority of factors contributing to the loss of revenue to these companies is totally out of their control, right? There's nothing they can do about it. Even if they do start operating in another 30 days, we still have to consider restrictions imposed by the ports of other countries. The cruise lines could be ready to sail, but if the destinations don't allow them entry to the ports because of fear of the virus, then the revenues would still be very low. I mean, Carnival, for example, could announce publicly that, hey, we're going to resume our operation on May 1 or whenever, right? But then the countries and ports that they need to dock at could say, hey, we don't want you here and we won't allow you in. So it's not just a matter of them being back in business in 2 months. There are other external factors that are contributing to the loss of business. So that is something that we also need to think about before purchasing these stocks. And that goes back to my original point why I believe if you think there is going to be a rebound in 2 months or 3 months, it may not happen. I mean, we could see this taking a couple months before everything is settled and we are actually back to normal business. Now, the cruise lines are already taking their administrative staff, like the accountants, payroll personnel, management, people in the head offices, and just allowing them to work less hours per week, and also taking a pay cut. And of course, this is in an effort to reduce expenses further. And also, this is the kind of approach where companies try to keep everybody's job, but at the same time, everybody has to, of course, pay a price. So they're trying to stay afloat. And this is, although, I mean, it's not the best news, it's good since there are companies who take a completely different approach, right? They just lay people off, let them go entirely, and then close up shop until such time. And this is something that I've heard that Norwegian is currently doing. Now, another thing that the cruise lines are doing is closing out their lines of credit and bringing in as much cash as they can. I also know that Norwegian has about 670 million and another 800 million as noted by the analysts from Wall Street. And this is in addition to other money that they had. So I know they shouldn't be going bankrupt, at least not now, and they should be able to stay afloat for a good amount of time until this all blows over. So for the next 60 to 90 days, in my estimation, I really don't see a problem as far as it relates to them staying afloat. They should be able to do that, right? Now, if the situation worsens and they have to stay out of business for longer than the next 2 months or 3 months, then again, they'll probably need to start taking some more steps to stay afloat for longer. So that's also another point to consider if you want to jump in on any of these cruise ship stocks right now. Another step that they could possibly take to try and stay afloat if the situation prolongs passing the next 90 days is to suspend the upgrading or refurbishing operations of their ships, which is usually in the billions. A suspension of refurbishing over the next year could potentially free up some cash and help them manage through this time. Now, I mean, they already have a schedule of dry docking for refurbishing, but they could just postpone everything for another 12 months, let's say, and just push those costs back. Now, new ships, that's another thing. There are new ships that are already ordered, in construction, the financing has been done, and they are either completed or about to be. Now, these they can't back out of, but the good side to this is that it will free up some space for new revenue or more revenue once they begin operating again. And they can try to book these new cruise lines, the cruise ships, and potentially increase the income and cash flow. I know Celebrity has a new ship called the Apex, which is ready, newly completed just this month or last month, and I think that ship is just waiting to be put on operation as soon as things are back to normal. The cruise lines have been constantly refurbishing their old cruise ships, and the old ones are being retired, and so they have newer, cleaner, more fuel-efficient ships coming with higher capacities. So I don't see these cruise lines going anywhere. I mean, I think they're going to make it, and they will be around for many, many, many years to come. So as an investor, or if you're already a shareholder, what are you supposed to do right now? That's the main question on everyone's lips. So like I said initially, and guys, I'm not telling you anything and then doing the opposite or doing something else. If you have no problem waiting 2 years for a return on your investment, which we shouldn't have if we're serious investors, then I would invest a little, then invest a little more each time the stock price plunges. And that's how I think we should approach it, because there's no telling where the bottom price is, right? We could be there now, we could have passed it already, or we could have another 4 or more weeks of price drops to endure. So buy a little more, and keep buying a little more with each price plunge, and that's the way I'll be doing it. Take advantage of the shareholder perks and credits as well. So by the way, if you guys didn't already know, if you're a shareholder or as a shareholder of these cruise lines, you get perks when cruising. So the most popular is $100 cabin credit, and this is for any of the 3 major cruise lines here: Norwegian, Carnival, or Royal Caribbean. If you get on, let's say, a week's cruise as a shareholder, you get that credit. The stock price is under $10, guys, so do the maths. Cruise 3 times a year, and that's a good perk. And also, if you're on a 2-week cruise, I think it's $200 to $250 worth of cabin credit. Now, except for Norwegian, these cruise stocks do pay dividends, but I really think that these dividends will be cancelled or suspended for at least the next year. But even so, a great deal just the same. Now, grab a stock at $9, you purchase a couple, you take 3 cruises, you get back $300 to $500 in credit, and in 2 years or about that, the stock price triples, and you come out being a winner, man. So you can't find a better deal. You just can't beat that. So consider this and let me know what you guys think. Did you buy any? Are you going to buy any? And just what's your thoughts in general? Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Stay safe out there. Remember to stock up on those Corona bears. Keep investing and making this money, and I'll talk to you soon. Adios.